Hello students, I welcome you all to this session. I am Vishali Kikan and in this session we are going to discuss the electromagnetics or EMFT. In the last section we have already seen the electric field due to a continuous charge distribution. Now we are moving a step further and we will be seeing the electrical field due to a continuous charge distribution which is circular in shape. So in the previous video I have taken this continuous charge distribution to be straight in shape and now here we have bended it. Okay, now again the distance here is taken to be L. So here if I have taken a small distance on this element, it will be dl, and here the charge distribution is continuous. Okay, so if the total charge is q over here, so now here the charge over this element, small element, will be taken as dq. Okay, so now this element is at the distance r from the observation point. This is my observation point and here I am observing this small charge from this point. Okay, so this is the point 1 and this is the point 2. Always and always specify which is your point 1 and which is your point 2. You will be getting more clear when I will be solving some questions. So here I have taken two special cases and I will be telling you that how we can apply the formula that we are deriving here. Okay, so now we know what is the formula to find out electric field intensity due to a point charge. Now here if I have taken this element to be very small, this element is now behaving like a point charge. Okay, so now here this is the point charge of charge dq. Now it is at the distance r from the observation point. Now I can find out the electric field at point P due to this point charge, and what it would be? Okay, I am just dealing with the magnitudes here. So you can see if I am taking the electric field, it will be represented by a small electric field over here and the direction will be along this line R. So here I have made D is my k dq upon r square. So this was the formula of electric field intensity due to a point charge and I have directly applied the formula. Okay, so now here I have to find out the electric field intensity from the element from the point 1 to the point 2. And now one point more I know is that the line charge distribution. What is the line charge distribution in this case? Okay, so the line charge distribution will be dq upon dl. Okay, so here if I have to find out dq, because here my term which is used is dq over here. Okay, so I will be using dq here and I will be finding out what is my dq. dq will be represented as lambda into dl. Now in this formula I will be putting this dq and I will be finding out the electric field, the total electric field due to the point charge. Now I can replace it and I can write it down like. Okay, so here I have one more element dl. Okay, now here if I see this diagram, here I can see the angle which this element dq, the center point is making with this point P with the x-axis is theta. Now here for this element, if I have taken the angle, the small angle variation for this small element to be d theta. Now this distance is r. For the circular ring I have taken the radius to be r. So this distance will be at the point r from the point P. Okay, so now here if I have to find out dl, what would be this dl? This dl will be equal to r into d theta. Okay, so this is how I find out the arc of any circular ring. So here if I have the arc which is making angle d theta and which is at the distance r, so here the radius is r, so this arc length will be r d theta. Now replacing the dl with r d theta in this formula, So this is how I will be finding out my small electric field. Okay, so here you can see this R and this R will be getting cancelled out, and here what I am left out with, all of the parameters are now same. Now here you can see if I resolve the two components of this dE. So one component will be here and one component will be here. Okay, so now if I resolve these two components, here you can see if this angle is theta, then which angle will be theta here? So this angle will be theta here. Okay, are you agreeing with me? These are the opposite angles are equal. So now here, if this angle is theta, this is dE, then what it would be? It will be dE cos theta. And what will be this component? This component will be, okay, so let's call this component to be parallel component and this component to be the perpendicular component. And now we have to find out both of them. So we know what is dE and we know what are the variations in the theta and we know what are the various components. So okay, we will be finding out dE cos theta. dE cos theta will be simply dE multiplied with the cos theta. Okay, so now why we did all of those processing, why we replaced d cube with lambda dl and dl with r d theta, so that I will be having only the variations in the terms of theta. Okay, so here you can see I have k which is constant. K is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. So if my medium is vacuum, k will be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. K value is fixed. Okay, now lambda is fixed for this given circular element. My lambda will be fixed. I have already taken the uniform charge distribution. Now the r is also fixed. The only thing that is varying here is theta. Okay, so now we have to find out the E. E will be the integration of dE cos theta. So here, from where I will integrate it? From the point 1 to the point 2, and let's suppose the point 1 is making the angle theta 1. So here the lower limit will be theta 1. What is the upper limit? The upper limit will be theta 2. This point 2 is making theta 2 angle with this axis. So here I will be taking the upper limit to be theta 2. So here what I have to do? I have to just integrate this thing. Okay, so now I can represent it as integration from theta 1 to theta 2 k lambda upon r cos theta. So I can take out k lambda upon r. Okay, and we know what is the integration of cos theta, and we will be putting the limits. So at the end I will be finding out the parallel component of E. The parallel component of E will be this integration. So here okay, so this is how I will be finding out E parallel. In the similar manner, I will be finding out E perpendicular. So what is E perpendicular? If I see here, E perpendicular is dE sin theta. Okay, so here E will be integration from theta 1 to theta 2 k lambda upon r sin theta d theta. Now we know the integration of sin theta and we will be putting the limits. So here okay, the integration of sin theta is minus cos theta. So now we will be putting the limits here and the E perpendicular will be So this is how I will be finding out the two components, E parallel and E perpendicular. Now we have to find out the total electric field. So the total electric field will be found out with the help of the vector formula. We know the electric field intensity is a vector quantity. So here I will be using the formula. Okay, so this is how I will be finding out the resultant. So E will be equal to under root E parallel square plus E perpendicular square. So now coming to the application of this formula. Now we will be seeing the specific cases. So this is my case 1 and this is my case 2. Here I have taken the half ring. Okay, so here you can see this is my point 1, this is my point 2, and now I have to find out the resultant electric field at the point P. Now here if I have taken my small element here, this is my small element dl, and the charge due to this small element will be dq. We are again supposing that we have uniform charge distribution. And what is lambda? Lambda is dq upon dl. So I can say dq is lambda dl. Okay, so now here if I see this figure, from this figure I can find out what is my theta 1. My theta 1 is 0 here, and what is my theta 2? Theta 2 will be pi here. Okay, so first of all I will be telling you how we can find out the electric field with the same formula that we have derived here. Then I will be telling you the short trick. Okay, so here you can see we have again taken d theta here. So it is the electric field due to the point charge. We know the formula of electric field. Now I will be replacing the value of d theta, which is lambda dl. And what is dl? dl is r d theta. Okay. Okay, so now here I will be replacing the value of dl. So again I have got the same formula, k lambda d theta upon r. Again I will be having two components, the parallel component here and the perpendicular component here. If I derive again, I will be finding out the same formula. E parallel will be this and E perpendicular will be this. Now I have to see what is my theta 1 and theta 2. Here as I have already told you, my theta 1 is 0. Okay, I have to rest at this point P, and I have to see at this point P, from this point P, what is the angle made by this one point from this point P. So you can see I have a 0 angle from the point 1, so the theta 1 is 0. Now I will be moving from here, and you can see if I have to go to the point 2, the angle is pi. Okay, so this is how my theta 2 will be pi. So with the help of same formula, I will be finding out my E parallel. So E parallel is E parallel will be k lambda upon r sine pi minus sine 0. Okay, so here you can see sine pi is 0 and here sine 0 is also 0. So E parallel will be directly equal to 0. Now we have to find out E perpendicular. So here you must be very careful, because here we have cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2 in the formula. What is my theta 1? Theta 1 is cos of 0 minus cos of theta 2, which is cos of pi. Okay, so now I know the value of cos of 0, it is 1, cos of pi is minus 1. So I can say E perpendicular will be equal to 2k lambda upon r. Okay, so now from here, from this formula, I have found out that E parallel was 0, E perpendicular is 2k lambda upon r. And now I don't have to find out the resultant, because if I will be applying this formula, then also I will be having the same result, and this is equal to my E net. Okay, so this is how I can find out the net electric field. And if you have to verify the formula, I was telling you the short trick. So you must check the symmetricity. Here I have taken the dq element here. If I take the same small element here in this circular ring, so let's suppose this is again my small element dq and it is having the small length dl. So let's see what will change here. This is again r. So here what will be my electric field? Electric field will be along this line. So now this is my dE. Okay, so now I will again resolve the components. So one component will be along here and one component will be along here. So I can see that this component is equal to this component because I have taken the small same element. The element was having the same dimension, same charge. So this element and this element will be having the same electric field in the opposite direction, and these will cancel out, and this is how we will never have this parallel kind of electric field. We will always have the perpendicular kind of electric field due to the symmetricity. So here one thing you must be observing, that here I don't have any symmetricity. Okay, so here any component of this dE will not get cancelled out. So here if I resolve the component, so this is my dE parallel and dE perpendicular. Now I will be using the same formula and I will be finding out what are my dE perpendicular and dE parallel. Again I will not be using this formula to find out small dE. You are now very pro in this. You can find out this small electric field dE due to this small element. Now here I will be directly using the formula to find out dE perpendicular and dE parallel. Okay, so here you can see this is my small element and this is the point 1 and this is the point 2. Now I have to find out the theta. Okay, so if I see this axis, the point 1 will be having the 0 degree angle. So point theta 1 will be 0 degree. What will be the theta 2? Theta 2 I can see from here it is 90 degree. Okay, so it was really easy. Now I just have to substitute it here and I will be finding out E parallel as well as E perpendicular. Okay, so what was theta 2? Theta 2 was 90, theta 1 was 0. So E parallel will be k lambda upon r sine 90 minus sine of 0. Okay, so here if I know the value of sine of 0 is 0 and sine of 90 is 1. So I can say E parallel is k lambda upon r. Okay, so now I can easily find out what is my E perpendicular. E perpendicular will be k lambda upon r cos of 0 minus cos of 90. Here I know cos of 90 is 0. So here cos of 0 is 1. So this is also k lambda upon r. Now this is my parallel component, this is my perpendicular component. This is my perpendicular component actually. Okay, and this is my parallel component. So I have found out both of them. Now I have to find out the resultant electric field. So E will be equal to under root. What is my E parallel? So E parallel is k lambda upon r. So I will be taking square of it. So k lambda upon r square plus what is my E perpendicular? K lambda upon r. Again I will be taking the k lambda upon r square. Okay, so from the simple calculations now you can find out E. E will be equal to, I can take k lambda upon r outside and here I will be having under root 1 plus 1. So I can write it down as 2 under root k lambda upon r under root 2. Okay, so this is how I can find out the resultant electric field in these two special cases. So I hope now if you are given with the element which is circular element of any length, okay, with any theta 1 and theta 2, you will be able to find out the resultant electric field. And if you are finding the problem again and again, you can go and watch the previous video where I derived the formula for the continuous charge distribution straight element. Okay, so from there you will be getting the basic knowledge about the charge distribution and the straight continuous charge distribution and the electric field due to that, and you will be able to apply the formula here. Okay, now I am giving you a homework. So it is your task now that you will be finding out the electric field due to a full circular ring. So here I have the circular ring like this. Okay, so this length is negligible. I hope now you are understanding. I am not taking any radius of this element. So this element is having 0 radius, almost negligible radius. So now it is of 360 degree length, and you have to find out the electric field due to this circular ring. Okay, so here I will be concluding my session. I hope you understood each and everything. If you have still any kind of doubt, you can put the doubt in the comment, or you can reach out to me. I will be trying to resolve your doubt as soon as possible. I hope you like this video. You will be sharing it with your friends, liking this video and subscribing this channel. Thank you so much.